I'm just going to put forth my effort and just hope it comes back to me. And it usually always works out.
So the big question is, what are top agents doing to absolutely crush it in real estate, grow their teams and add more transactions year over year while so many struggle? To get the answers, we interview top real estate agents to learn their secrets to success. Listen, we believe every agent should make a minimum of $100,000 per year, and we're on a mission to make this happen. We've already helped over 100 agents achieve this with our coaching. So if you want to fast track your business growth, get to your first $100,000 in GCI, or add another $100,000 in GCI using social strategies, then head over to go.eliteagentsecrets.com, or you can just click the link in the description below. Also, just make sure to follow us, hit that subscribe button, and if you get any value from this at all, please tell a friend and leave us a review. My name is Andrew Dunn.
And my name is Peter Michael. Welcome to Elite Agent Secrets.
Hey Ron, welcome to this episode of the Elite Agent Secrets show. Today we've got JJ Ranamoon with us. He's been in real estate for 7 years. He did 65 million in production last year in 2021 with a team of 5 agents, specializes in off-market acquisitions, and works with 2 large institutional funds in the Lower County community. Today, we're going to be discussing relationships, staying in your lane, and not taking no for an answer. JJ, thanks for jumping on the show with us today to share your story. How you doing, my man?
Good. Thanks for having me, guys.
I love it. Where you are an off-market acquisition specialist, right? I know there's definitely going to be some questions that I'm going to be asking you because I'm trying to figure out how to get more off-market properties. But before we even get anywhere into any one of those topics, take us back to day one, JJ. What did your starting year look like? Why did you even get into real estate? Talk to us and give us a little bit of context so everybody knows what it took to get to where you are today.
For sure. So my family is in the hospitality business, so naturally I gravitated towards that. And my dad and his partner own a bakery here in Charleston. They've had it for 40 years. It's been here forever. It's probably one of the oldest restaurants / bakeries in the city. Well, I had kind of moved and bounced around and explored the world a little bit and worked in fine dining most of the time doing it because it was just easy to, move and, hit the ground running. So did that and finally moved back to Charleston about 7 years ago, and was going to try and take over the reins for my dad. And he didn't want to pay me anything, and 2, I already knew with him being foreign that we're going to work 100 hours a week, which is the norm for us. It's just, whatever we had to do. But, with the amount of money that he wanted to pay me, I knew that I was going to be single and not far from being homeless. So I respectfully declined. And, being in the hospitality business, you're always you're in sales essentially. So you're upselling people, if you want to put truffles on their pasta or caviar before dinner or whatever it may be. So I was like, hey, why not sell something with the biggest price tag possible? And that could be, real estate. So I got my license and was working fine dining and working in real estate starting off. And it was a struggle. I failed the exam a couple times. People didn't take me seriously. They would see me as their server, and not their real estate agent. They're like, well, wait a second here, So, after a while, I finally started to, I got a break, and my break was, so a long time ago, I worked at this restaurant in downtown Charleston called Poogan's Porch. Amazing, Southern cuisine if you ever come and visit. And there's 2 brothers, and they worked there forever and ever. And a lot of people think that the chef is the most important person in the restaurant, when in fact it is the dishwasher. because if you don't have plates and silverware, you're never going to sell any food. So I always took care of them, give them cigarettes, buy them shots, just always looked out for them, And one day they called me. This was long after I'd been out of it. They called and he told me that his dad had passed and that, and I sent my condolences, and he said that he had inherited a bunch of real estate and wanted to talk to me about it. So that was kind of my break on that, and we helped him go through the whole probate process and get everything done with deed of distributions, and then we sold them, and that was kind of my first hurrah into it. Shortly after, I put in my notice at the restaurant, and that the rest was history.
So how many deals did you end up doing so was your first year part-time then, or was it full-time? Was it like
my first year was part-time. Yeah.
Yeah. How many deals did you do in your first year? Do you remember?
I did probably 5.
5. Okay. And do you know what you did like second, third, roughly? Like growth?
The second year I did. So the second year was truly full time, and I know that I sold about it was like 4.8 million.
Okay.
And then pretty much every year going forward, I doubled my income. So every year going forward for the past 6 years, it's doubled.
Wow. So you're really good.
You're saying double. Do you attribute something specific to you being able to continuously double year over year? Or are you just doing more of the same thing and now you're seeing the compounding effect?
I'm really just doing the same thing that I've been doing. There's a few variables that have changed along the way that have been able to create more volume. One of which is that institutional fund. I basically had a guy that was like a flipper and builder, and he got some of his money and he got some money out of Delaware and a couple local guys and put together a fund. And so it's basically like, I can sell them 6 to 8 properties a month, and just, anything from 400,000 to 4 million, like just all the time. So that is put some rocket fuel in it.
So it's a constant flow of business.
Yes. Yeah. Anything I can find, that makes, sense. We can do it,
So with these funds, how did you initially, it sounds like, there was a lot of business coming from them for you specifically. What kind of started those relationships with getting into helping funds and big investors basically, or wanting deals? Because we see 2 sides of the coin. We work with people who love investors, and we work with people that absolutely hate working with investors. There seems to be no in between. It's a love or a hate style of relationship. So how did you kind of initially get that relationship? And what does it feel like, I guess, for you working with it? Is it an enjoyable experience? What are some of the nuances? Because we know, again, what some of them are, but what's your experience like working with people like that?
Dude, investors are terrible. It's so tough because, they're just in like a hunt mode and they want to take everyone for every dime, and so I have, put myself in a position to get fucked over many a times, and that's okay. I didn't make any money, but I learned a lot. And, I did that for a while, and basically how it all started, there was these 2 guys at the country club when I first started out, and I had an in with one of them. It's like my friend's uncle type of thing, knew this guy, and I would just harass the shit out of this guy. I would just blow him up. I knew that he had money and that he was big in real estate development and stuff, and I'd just light him up just in a triple dialer. I'd call him almost every day. And finally I'd like go see him on the golf course. And they're like, damn, this kid is an animal. He won't leave me alone, and finally the one guy was just like, dude, give him some fucking money to do this deal or whatever, and let's just see what happens. So just leave us the fuck alone, you know? And so they gave me some money. So they gave me some money, and we did a deal. We found a deal downtown, bought it, built it. Basically had to build it because it was nothing left, and made 30% margin. You know, it was close to like a $700,000 sale. So, at that time, that was pretty high price point for downtown, give or take. So we did that deal. And then shortly after, those two guys brought in this third partner, and, put together a little fund. And basically, what we did was, the model was buy, build, or buy, renovate, and rent out to medical students downtown Charleston. And so I helped them build. It was probably around 25 doors and probably around, I don't know, $30 million in real estate. So they had that as a higher end buy and hold for medical students. And then, one of the guys, they had it for a couple of years. One of the guys said, hey, I want my money back. I want to do something else. We're going to buy and build hotels. So we dissolved the entity and sold all the properties. The last one closed yesterday, actually. And then the guys are now building hotels all over. So.
Got it. So it's interesting. So is your plan now to scale, which I'm assuming you want to, or you might just be happy, is your plan to try and close more of these funds and investors to get a lot of business from basically single sources, or is your plan to scale out to, the buyers and sellers on an individual basis?
Well, I personally, I'm with the investors, I just deal with them exclusively. And then I refer the team most of, our buyers and stuff like that. I try to handle most sellers and listings, but every once in a while, I'll throw them one if I don't have the bandwidth, so yeah.
Right. So I think let's dive in then to your first topic, which actually is kind of to do with harassing that investor until you got the deal.
Right.
Chasing relationships before you chase the money. So unpack that for us. What do you mean by that?
So, it's basically like, you can ask people for their business all day and they're, going to be hesitant or gun shy to do it because one, they don't have the warm fuzzies, or two, they don't really know you very well. So, in the beginning, I was calling people and saying, hey, anyone that's looking to buy or sell real estate? And, it was just kind of, people were like, dude, just leave me alone. Like, why are you making this weird? People subconsciously know when they pick up the phone for JJ, they know JJ's a realtor. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to say anything about real estate, nothing. They know it. It's in the back of their brain. So, when I kind of lost that and just started saying, hey man, how's everything going? Yeah. Did y'all win that soccer game? Oh yeah, you did? Great. Just calling and just asking people how their day's going and seeing what's new in their life. Things started to just come to my way. And I feel like, it was a much better approach. And it was kind of, just like the law of attraction, just what I'm attracting in my brain is going to project in front of me. And I don't really have to put forth like direct effort for it. You know what I'm saying?
When it was coming to making those calls, I guess what a lot of people think, I know that we deal with as well, it's like at the back of your mind, even though you're saying you're doing it without intention, like you want to make sure they're good type thing, in the back of your mind, you're like, I really hope a deal comes from this. When you were going into that, was that where your head was at? Or was it really just about, I'm actually going to just build this relationship irrespective if a deal never comes?
No, it was because I was broke. But, it's something that you kind of have to fight internally too. It's like, I got to let go and just whatever happens. I'm just going to put forth my effort and just hope it comes back to me. And it usually always works out, you just kind of got to take your hands off the wheel and,
and build it, right?
Yeah.
would you say that strategy for you has worked better than, I guess, being upfront? It's kind of a bit of a balancing act, right? Because we've tried many different strategies ourselves with regards talking to people, and there's kind of two trains of thought. I lean more one way, Peter leans probably more the other way. One is like, I'm more upfront. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if I contact people, I usually just get straight to it, because like, I know if someone approaches me, that's what I want them to do too. Right? Because like, it's like for like, so like, if JJ's called me, I just want you to go, yo, Andrew, it's JJ, what's going on, dog? Like, you're selling a home, you're buying a home, you know any investors, what's going on? And like, I'll be like, yo, it's great chat. No, I actually don't right now, but hit me back up in a couple of months. I'll see what's going on. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that for me is for me, because, and I'm not sure if investors are a little bit more like that, because it's just like, it's a business mindset. It's like, let's just get down to business. I know what you're after. I know what I'm after. Let's make money. When I guess on an individual basis with buyers or sellers, I feel like a more of a personal touch works. Maybe just not so kind of out and out aggressive. It's not aggressive in a bad way. It's just being very upfront. But that can come across quite harsh for a lot of people, where it's like, yo, I need a little bit of like, need a little cuddle, I need a little cup of coffee, we'll kind of date and all that stuff. So have you found the same with working with investors and buyers and sellers, or is it always been kind of the longer relationship building approach that's worked consistently for you?
I would say more with like your retail buyers and sellers. Like, I think it's a better, in my experience, this is what's worked for me, better to approach it the way that I was saying, with just like, just calling to see how they're doing. With investors, yeah, their time is so limited. And even me, myself, I get to the end of every day, and it's not like I get the satisfaction that I'm done with work. I just have to stop or I'll lose my mind, so if I haven't already lost it, but,
it's funny you say that. Are you married?
I am.
So you have to stop whether you like it or not, because that's what I'm going through right now too.
I don't want to stop. I just want to keep going.
Yeah. There's just definitely times of night where it's like you lay down and you're like, oh crap, I can't get this done. This will only take me a few minutes or that. And it's like, but I might be sleeping on the couch.
That's how it goes.
Honestly, wife messaging me, Andrew, have you seen my husband recently? Be like, yeah, I'm on the phone with him at 3 a.m.
There's definitely a lot worse places to be than not on the phone at 3 a.m. with your business partners, right? So.
But like, it also, like, when we're talking about chasing relationships, listen, relationships go in so many guys. It's not only clients, but if with partners as well, which is, it's just it's the nature of doing good business, right? Building relationships is something that goes a long way. I mean, just on the business standpoint, like me and Peter, we knew each other for years. Like literally years, helped us that did business together, like as in like two separate businesses for years. And, and then something comes about, but like we just nurtured that relationship. That relationship took years of compounding, right? And then, stuff comes about. So relationships do take time. Like people don't trust you right away, which is fair enough, especially in today's world. I think our bullshit detectors are going off a lot, which also, is relevant to getting real estate clients, because people, there's just a lot of fake, I think, in this world today. So the more genuine you are, the thing we love talking about and implementing is just be authentic. Like when people just aren't themselves, they're trying to put on a facade. And this happens a lot in real estate. So, anyone listening, if you're doing this, you should stop. But it's like people who dress in suits and they're just like not suit people. Like, stop fucking doing that shit. You don't need to.
Yeah.
Like if you want to do it, cool. Like I actually, believe it or not, like if I'm not in it, like if I have a good opportunity to get like suited and booted, I love it. Like, so I'm like, holy shit, yeah, this is fire. But every day, do I want to wake up and like get, so I was like, fuck no. Definitely don't. I'm on the verge of being in my pajamas every day, I swear.
9 out of 10 times you look like you rolled out of bed.
Society dictates that I'm not allowed to do that. And it's just like, listen, be authentic. Oh, and by the way, you might not have known this, but we've already helped over 100 agents cross over $100,000 per year and up in GCI with our predictable and scalable systems. So if you're interested in learning more about our courses and coaching to help you scale your business to 6 figures and beyond, then head over to go.eliteagentsecrets.com.